So I am actually downtown in New York City right now, meeting with our legal team down here in Hudson Yards. You're going to basically be talking through a number of the legal questions that come up when doing a token launch. Right? This process is really complicated, especially here in New York. You have to ask yourself, is your token going to run afoul of bit license laws? New York has its own legislation around things like doing tokens. I think California maybe just passed a similar law or rule that's coming into effect. So doing a legal review is actually top priority for our own token, but also understanding how other folks that are launching on top of our platform can also uh, address their legal concerns. So right now, here we are downtown, and we're going to go up and talk to our counsel.
Meeting Raph, my co-founder. Yeah, coming in with our lawyer.
Show people he's got like a real lawyer.
Hey everybody, my name is Rodrigo Seira. I'm a partner in Cooley's Miami office, visiting Dennison today in New York.
Give us a little bit of a high level of like what founders and projects really need to be thinking about when they just get started with this idea of, hey, we're going to do a token, we're going to do a token launch, and we want to do it in the United States. What should people be keeping in mind?
Howey test for prongs. You need to fail at least one to be out of the woodshed. Investment of money, we can't win on that one because we're selling it.
Right.
Common enterprise, it's you can make some technical arguments, but the SEC basically presumes it exists. So not the best argument to stand on. So then that gives you two, right? Purchase with the expectation of profit. That's where you have the utility token arguments. And those all are based on like this Supreme Court case called Foreman, which was a case where folks were buying shares in a co-op that were really like apartments, right? And the Supreme Court said, even though these things are called shares, people are not buying them for investment. They're buying them because they want a place to live.
Right.
So they're buying it for utility. So therefore, the securities laws don't apply, right? So kind of from that, there's been a bunch of subsequent case law, kind of like expanding that philosophy and applying it to different scenarios. So it's basically like whether a reasonable purchaser, based on all of the available information out there, is buying this to make a passive investment, or they want to do something with it, right? So it's a very subjective, distinguishes between entrepreneurial and managerial efforts and what they call ministerial or administrative efforts. So the idea is an investment is when you're giving money to somebody and they're like operating a business, like an enterprise, or taking risks, right? You're relying on their like entrepreneurial efforts again, as opposed to like you're paying an AWS subscription and you're getting like a technical service. I think the division is between tokens that are inherently securities. The Howey test has been applied in a wide range of circumstances that included sales of things like whiskey barrels, chinchillas, earthworms, things that like themselves are clearly not securities, but if packaged with promises around what some sort of promoter is going to do, those transactions can be securities transactions. Folks will often talk about utility tokens, which is a token that a purchaser gets with the expectation that they're going to use it. So the main driver for somebody buying it is the inherent utility in the token as opposed to an investment, right? These, I think, got a little bit of a bad rep in the ICO boom because people were kind of reflexively trying to get out of securities laws by just calling something a utility token. It's not that easy, right? Even if something has utility, it can, again, still be sold as part of a securities offering, depending on how it's structured. And it has to, you have to look at it from the point of view of the person that's buying it and whether it's reasonable.